Noir isn't always about crime, back alleys, and shadows. Sometimes, it's a villa by the ocean, a glass of wine, and a golden cage where one person lives at another's expense.
What is it, a private club?
Oh yes, it's private then. Very exclusive.
The female animal looks like a glossy melodrama. A movie star, a younger lover, an adult daughter, jealousy, romance. But if you watch closely, it's not a film about love. It's about control, about dependency, and about how the role you're given can turn into a trap.
Being married to you, Vanessa, would only mean that I'd be a legalized gigolo, a prize cocker spaniel.
The main character isn't poor, and he's not a predator. He's the only one trying to stay human. Around him, there's no violence, just emotional gravity, no commands, just attachment. And at some point, it becomes clear. If anyone in this film acts like the female animal, it's not one woman, it's several. And that's where it gets interesting. What this movie is actually about, whether it's feelings that matter or roles, and why, decades later, it still feels relevant.
Hey, you can't pass out here.
That's a challenge. I accept.
It starts as a coincidence. A background actor on set saves a star from a falling light. The tabloids call him a hero. She invites him in, first for dinner, then to stay.
Do you have to go home or something? Is someone waiting for you?
Oh, no.
He doesn't push forward, turns down gifts, feels the weight of her status. But the house by the ocean is quiet, calm, almost safe. What grows between them isn't romance. It's something more blurred. Not binding, but sticky.
I decided I couldn't wait to see you, so?
He lives in her space. She's around more and more. Sometimes it feels like care, sometimes like control. The lines begin to shift. It all seems voluntary, but something in it always feels owed. Then someone else enters the house, and everything that had floated in ambiguity starts demanding a name. Who are you in this story? A guest? A worker? A man? And what happens when someone else reaches for the same place? Not out of love, but because they grew up inside the system and know how to move through it. This movie isn't about twists. It's about positions. Not what happens, but who it happens to.
Hi. This place is locked up like a vault. I got so hungry I almost broke a window in my desperation.
From here on, it's not about what. It's about why. And that's more interesting.
You know, you're right. You are right. We have to get married. It's as simple as that.
You and I, we can never have any real relationship. You're Vanessa Windsor, the big movie star.
Who would say no today to living with a movie star? Beautiful, wealthy, offering comfort, attention, and everything covered. A beach house in Malibu, slow days, no pressure. It sounds like a dream. That's exactly what makes this film interesting. Because it doesn't show how great that is, it shows what happens next. Quietly, without moralizing. Just a setup that looks ideal, and turns out to be something else entirely.
What kind of a guy do you think I am, taking $1,800 worth of clothes from a woman?
What does it matter what people say?
It matters to me!
The man at the center isn't a savior, a victim, or a parasite. He's just a regular person dropped into someone else's script. He doesn't demand, doesn't press, doesn't exploit. He lives in her space and tries to stay himself. And the longer you watch him, the clearer it becomes. He's the only one who's not performing. He's not adjusting, not reshaping himself to fit the frame. And that doesn't make him strong. It makes him exposed. Because when everything around you looks like love, there's still a silent pressure to play your part. And then, the women. This isn't a story of a femme fatale and a rival. Every woman here moves from instinct. Not out of malice, but out of something more raw. The fear of being left, forgotten, replaced. They act, they cling, they push, sometimes gently, sometimes not. Not because they want to control, but because control feels like safety. You watch them, and you don't always know what to feel. It's not evil, it's not hysteria. It's closer to impulse, to claim, to hold, to mark a presence. The film doesn't define it, but you sense it, and that's what stays. No one is cast as the villain. Everyone acts from within, shaped by instinct, fear, or memory. You don't excuse it, but you understand it. Not with logic, with something closer to recognition. And that's when the title settles in. The female animal. Not as a judgment, but as a quiet question. What do people do when they feel the balance shift? When closeness turns into dependency? When care becomes territory? When you hold on, not because it's right, but because you don't know how to let go?
I love him so. I know he's younger and he's not faithful, but I don't care.
I wish I could.
You and I, it wouldn't have worked anyway.
The female animal might look like a melodrama, a movie star, a romance, jealousy, a beautiful setting. But underneath, it's a story about roles that aren't equal. One person invites, the other moves in. One gives, the other is expected to be grateful. The film doesn't pretend to be about something bigger. It just creates a space where things have already started. And you enter late, watching who reaches for what, who's afraid to lose, who's trying to hold on. Who might find this interesting now? Those who watch for tension, not answers. Who see not just what's said, but how people are placed. Who turn to old films not for nostalgia, but for clarity. And also those who simply enjoy watching. Faces, silences, the pause before a gesture. When a film doesn't rush, it just lets you stay near.